What's up? Welcome in on this hump day. Calm down, pervs. It's not that kind of hump day. Plenty of stuff to talk about tonight, as it's another edition, a Super Bowl week edition of the Mike Arana Show. TJ alongside, as always, Vegas Mac, whatever alter ego he's going to in the middle of God knows where. I'm up here in the Vegas Mac studio in the Northwoods of Arizona, where... I've never been a heater kind of guy, and obviously up in the northern part of Arizona at this time of the year, like, heat is a thing. Bro, I ain't jiving with this right now. I'm up here watching the rest of the McKenzie clan. For those of you that don't know, Vegas Mac, we sent him on a cruise to Kirk's and Caicos, as he likes to refer to it. If your name is Kirk and you're on that cruise ship, don't say we didn't warn you. He's going to find you, but that was his reward for winning Mike versus Mac 2 years in a row. But I did have to limit it because, as we've talked about, the McKenzie clan can field a whole baseball team here. I'm like, hey, we can't take everybody. We're not that kind of show yet. So I'm here with the rest of the McKenzie clan, and we had a sickie in the house today. I am dragging ass on Super Bowl week, which kind of seems like that happens to me every year. How are you today?
Well, I mean, it does feel that way, man. It's like we've kind of, it'll be nice to get to Thursday and then Friday, because Jesus,
that didn't take long. Don't drop your phone in the Atlantic, bro.
It's like I'm kind of like at that point of maximum density. With even though like the Super Bowl stuff kind of takes some time off, sometimes it's just with the coaching things and like the non-news stuff, man, I'll be happy to get to Thursday, and then you could talk about the game a little bit, and then I'll be happy to get the game over with. Like, somebody asked me today, what do you think of the Super Bowl? I'm like, I don't know, ask me Monday when it's over, because then I'll be able to enjoy it a little bit more. I mean, I don't know about you, dude. I'm not like, these teams are fine. Nice. It's a nice story, but I think unless you live in Seattle or you live in the Boston area, I don't think you really care. I think a lot of people were on the Bills, and I think the Bills would have made a more exciting story for everybody. And when the Bills went out the way that they did, I think that sucked a lot of the energy out of this Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think so. I think a lot of people would have loved to have seen a San Francisco-Buffalo matchup. I know I would have personally. I think a lot of people would have liked to have seen. I think the ultimate dream, as we've sat here over the last couple of years for everybody, is no doubt it's Detroit against Buffalo. I think that's the one everybody wants to see. But, Super Bowl week's always weird. I mean, media night, Monday night, I'm sure everybody's seen it by now. Mike McDonald asked the same damn question 5 times, and I got to give Mike McDonald credit, and I sent this back down the hill to the wife the other day, and the way he handled being asked, hey, 30 seconds left, 1 yard line, what play are you running? It's a different coaching staff, man. It's a different offensive coordinator. And credit to Mike McDonald for how he handled it. Anybody that's familiar with Super Bowl Monday night, media night, whatever you want to call it, it is a circus. It is a zoo. I think we need to do a little bit better job before the NFL at controlling who gets access to that event. But now is kind of where it really does start to ramp up. They're back on the practice field. Media availability is dwindling down. I tell you, man, I've had a bunch of friends from back home, Billy V, checking in. I do agree with that. Some friends sending me pictures driving by the big zipper with the Seahawks logo right next to Levi's Stadium. And I told them all, I said, hey, calm down. Niner fans, you'll be all right. Next year, your logo will be on the Rams Stadium for the Super Bowl. And then the Rams fans. And then I went, oh, yeah, the Rams don't have any fans anyway. So what are we talking about here? So Plenty of stuff we're going to get into tonight. Comment section was popping before we even got off. Love that. Love the energy right now. Love everything that's going on. Feel free to comment along if you're watching along. Again, we're working on the thing with Facebook. I did secure an ulterior pathway for us here, and we'll keep you apprised to that. I know some of you used to watching us there. We're working on it. That's all I'm going to comment on that. I'm just here so I won't get fined. Plenty of stuff to talk about tonight, T, though. And the NBA, like they typically do Super Bowl week, and I'm sure Roger Goodell loves this, has taken over the headlines in the early part of the week and will continue to do so. Again, tomorrow, the trade deadline is going to hit right during lunchtime live, right in the middle of the show tomorrow. Mm-hmm. That's the deadline. Obviously, the biggest fish is out there. But James Harden, Monday night, minding my business, getting the clan all wrangled up and into bed here, watching the Clippers and Sixers. So impressed with Tyrese Maxey, dude. I don't think we're talking about how good that kid really, really is. He's a superstar. And then all of a sudden, a Chris Mannix report pops up that Cleveland and the Clippers are talking about a Garland-Harden swap. And, those of you on our social channels at Mike Arana Show, everywhere but Snapchat, because we're not 12 at Snapchat, sucks everywhere but Snapchat and Facebook. Harden's past his prime. Garland's a better player. Are we not paying attention to Darius Garland? He's got a bad contract. He's had injury issues. The Clippers have no sense of direction. I didn't think this move was actually going to go down. I thought the Clippers played it really poorly. If you're going to throw James Harden out there, all of a sudden we hear it Monday night, boom, he's traded, today. Why would you not shop James Harden somewhere else? Apparently Harden wanted to go there. Great. You're the Kim Kardashian James Harden of NBA players, you and Dennis Schroeder here. What do you think about Harden on the Cavs because he's excited to chase his first ring? Bro, are you that damn delusional?
I don't know if this makes anybody better. I
don't think so.
I think this might be one of those cases where you're trading a bad contract for a bad contract just to get it out of the way as quickly as possible. So this thing was like, oh, okay, what are you doing? I don't think this moves the needle for Cleveland and the Clippers. They got great bathrooms. I mean, it's about
toilets. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think it moves the needle for either team. Garland's got great potential, but the dude can't stay on the floor here. So and here's the other thing. And I was talking to a friend the other day about this. Like, all right, man, that's gonna be awesome to see Harden and Donovan Mitchell together. Is it? Because I'm looking, since you and Mac like to suck me into kicker bets and pitcher out bets and all that stuff all the time, I'm looking for the bet that goes, how many 24-second violations can the Cavaliers have every game? Because we're just going to dribble the air out of the damn basketball with those two. Does it make Cleveland better? What do they say, T? Availability is your best ability, and right now James Harden can stay on the floor. If you're a strip club owner in Cleveland, you are jacked today. Ooh. But again, I don't think it moves the needle for me either. I still don't think Cleveland's as good as Detroit. I still don't think Cleveland's as good as the Knicks when the Knicks are playing their best ball. And I don't think Cleveland's as good as Boston, who just added Nikola Vucevic from the Bulls. A little weird that they traded Anthony Simons here, but I think the move of Vooch to the Celtics moves the needle in the East a little bit more than Harden going to the Cavaliers does. And I mean, go ahead, Cavs fans, come after me, but I just don't think it does.
I think you're right on that. I think the C's did a lot more for themselves than the Cavs here. I mean, this contract for Garland's going to go until his age 28 year, but like you said, that's 2 years after this. But if you can't stay on the court, then what the heck does it matter? This Celtics though, I thought that was I was not expecting that. Of course, I've been looking at the NHL and how they're sizing up before the roster freeze today, but I wasn't expecting that move.
No, not at all. And that wasn't the only move, because today it really got rolling. Anthony Davis, about a year later, is now on his way to Washington to wear street clothes on the bench for the Wizards and join up with Trae Young. So they're going to corner their franchise on those two guys. The Mavericks get some much needed cap relief, a lot of assets. The fact that And we're going to get more into the nuts and bolts of these trades on tomorrow's show. With, again, obviously the deadline going down in the middle of the show, but Lonzo Ball traded today. He's a free agent sent to Utah. They're going to release him. Chris Paul sent to the Raptors in a 3-team trade. I can guarantee you Chris Paul ain't playing for Toronto. And then just a little while ago tonight, and this one kind of moves the needle for me too, T. And Max talked about these guys a lot. The Charlotte Hornets, they acquire Kobe White and Mike Conley, who was recently traded in a 3-team trade today for Sexton and Dieng, Ousmane Dieng and Colin Sexton here. Charlotte now adding a veteran in Mike Conley and a very explosive guard who I love in Kobe White. I think Charlotte now has said, hey, we actually are not the same old Hornets. I love this move for Charlotte.
Well, I hope they're not the same old Hornets, because let's just be honest, it's been just dreadful for the past several years there. So good for the Hornets for making some moves. They're sitting on the outside right now but I mean, they're only a game out of the play-in spot. I guess if you get in there, that's probably fine for you right now. But yeah, good for them for trying to improve their team and make a run. Maybe they've gotten to the point where they're just sick of finishing in that 11, 12, 13 spot.
Yeah, and again, like I said, we're going to keep you up to date the best we can. Here's what we know. According to Mark Stein, there is an expectation that by about midnight tonight, the Giannis situation, if it's going to happen, will happen. We know some of the particulars here. We know now with the trade of Jaren Jackson Jr. from Memphis to Utah, and now that makes the situation for the Grizzlies in a complete overhaul here, and they're acquiring a lot of assets as well. Jackson goes to Utah, and we're seeing a shift here in the Western Conference. You think about Utah, and I know Walker Kessler's out, and I believe he's out for the rest of the year, but you got Walker Kessler, you got Lauri Markkanen, and now you got Jaren Jackson Jr., and we're seeing the power shift in the West, not only in players moving, but in teams getting big in the West. And there's one team in particular that can't afford to just sit here with their thumb up their ass, and yes, I'm talking to you, Mike Dunleavy. It's now or never for the Warriors, and we've heard, and according to Mark Stein and several others on this, that any package that the Warriors are going to be sending to Milwaukee, we weren't sure if it was going to be Jimmy Butler on a dollar-for-dollar match or Draymond Green amongst a bunch of other players. Sounds like Draymond Green's going to be on the move there, but Mark Stein and Bobby Marks from ESPN both thinking that there's a good possibility that we find out the decision on Giannis if it's going to happen tonight. Miami's in the mix. Miami also has a contingency plan for Ja Morant here. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see if the Heat can one-up the Warriors or if the Warriors can one-up the Heat. Obviously, Minnesota cleared some space yesterday. But at some point tonight, I'm kind of expecting my phone to go off and having that holy shit reaction in the middle of the night.
Yeah, and don't you love the fact that the NBA, that the superstars are they move so frequently in this league? Like, we just had Kevin Durant get traded over the summer. Say what you want about Bradley Beal, but that was a big deal. Like, the Suns took their shot, didn't work out. I mean, not everything's going to work, but I love the fact that you got players like Giannis and Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson that they're changing places in the middle of the season. I think this is good for the league.
Yeah, I absolutely think it is. And again, and we talked about this a couple of weeks ago here, the Kevin Durant trade actually went down at the beginning of Super Bowl week when the Super Bowl was last in Phoenix. So this is always kind of, it kind of progresses Super Bowl week along, get through the minutia and the bullshit of the beginning of the week and the NBA trades. And then we can go, okay, let's focus on the wasted management, drunken open, and the Super Bowl to carry us through the rest of the week here. We got games in action tonight. Nuggets and Knicks tied at 70 in the third. Celtics and Rockets 31-25. Boston up in the second. Raptors and Wolves. The Raptors up 13 at halftime on the Wolves. That's really good for my bet tonight. Thanks a lot, Minnesota, you assholes. But plenty of stuff to go through. You got Roz. I'm going to put this up one more time here because we've got a little bit of information on this as well. The expectation is that Draymond Green is not going to be staying in Milwaukee, and the most likely destination would be a flip move to Los Angeles. I want to ask you this: you've got LeBron James, you've got Luka Doncic, you've got Austin Reeves. If you add Draymond Green to that team, what does that do for you as you assess the Lakers?
Well, I think it makes them instantaneously better as long as Draymond keeps his cool and stays available. Look, his defense has never been questioned. It's just can he like keep his head together and actually play? I'm surprised. Like after last year, I'm like the Lakers. Yeah, show me something later on, because I'm not buying you right now. I mean, they're sitting in fifth right now. That's way higher than I expected. And I think if you had Draymond, that gives them a if this is LeBron's last kick at the can at this, it at least gives them a fighting chance more so than if they went into it with the roster as is.
Yeah, and like I said, plenty of stuff going on in the NBA. If anything comes up, and I do kind of agree with that sentiment there. And I do. Here's the other part from Billy V's comment here. LeBron and Draymond, very good friends. They vacation together in the offseason. I think, you're never. Here's the thing. If that were to happen, let's say the Warriors were to finally get their golden goose in Giannis, and Draymond is the guy that moves, and he is then shipped back to Los Angeles here. And a lot of people are like, well, LeBron can probably get him to mind his P's and Q's. You don't change who Draymond Green is. The Warriors don't do what they've done over the 13 and a half years he's been there without Draymond Green being Draymond Green. When you have Draymond Green, you know what's a possibility on any given night. But at the same time, one of the smartest basketball players, one of the best defensive basketball players of this era here. You don't change Draymond Green. And if you're going to go acquire Draymond Green, you don't change the guy because what the hell did you acquire him for?
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Plenty of baseball news as well as we move through the headlines here in about 10 minutes. We'll get into hockey. It's a Wednesday night. We're going to puck around and find out. And then we're going to take our Super Bowl coverage to its first step tonight. We're going to look at some of the novelty props, not your over-under receiving yards, some of the cutesy stuff. We'll tell you what's really stupid and what we're kind of liking and what we're going to bet this weekend. Hey, here's a shocking headline for you. John Fisher's a piece of shit. Isn't it amazing that the A's have started to sign all these guys to long-term deals after they just refused to do anything for years? This was a 3-year setup from John Fisher to get into Las Vegas. Depending on what happens there, we're hearing some rumors now that the Bally's Corp might be already trying to sell out of the deal. I guess if you meet John Fisher one time, you kind of know who you're dealing with there. But Jacob Wilson is the latest A's superstar to get the big deal, $70 million contract that he inked on Monday. T, I'm still in the same boat with the A's, man. I love this team. I love the personalities on this team. I love the players on this team. I have a hard time backing this team because of who gets to. This is a team, if you fix the pitching over the long haul, with the offensive players they have, I think could actually be a threat in the American League. And the fact that knowing that, let's say they were to ever win an AL pennant with this group, to know that that pile of trash is going to stand up there with the championship trophy and an AL pennant makes me sick to my friggin' stomach.
I don't think you're going to have to worry about that because my guess is once they do their first game in Vegas, I think he's going to sell himself right out of the picture. Look, this A's team, and they're getting these guys. Here's the other thing too: they're getting these guys cheap, which is like Soderstrom's deal was cheap, Rooker's deal cheap, Butler's deal cheap. Like the biggest deal they've handed out on an AAV basis was the Severino. So this offense is amazing. Like you said, can the pitching hold up? And yeah, that's going to be a huge. I mean, maybe they're just going to count on outscoring everybody 9-8 and pretend it's like the old school Colorado Rockies. But yeah, this offense is exciting, and Jacob Wilson's offense is great defensive shortstop.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple other baseball moves just to touch on. Again, we'll get more into these next week when we got the whole crew kind of back together here. The Giants agree to terms with Elisa Rise. The Giants have a right side of their infield that, thank God, Ron Washington's on their coaching staff to help with the defense because he's going to have his hands full with Devers and Arise on that side of the field. So, the Giants needed help at second base. They went out and they made a move that they had to move. They had to make. If you get your rocks off by insignificant singles and bad defense, then Luis Arias is your guy. Bigger move this week. Gino Suarez finally reaches a deal. He goes to Cincinnati. I know they're going to be so excited to get him in Cincinnati. I mean, what a grab for them. Hopefully you held on to your jerseys from back in the day there. Brendan Donovan over to Seattle here. So the Mariners, a little out of sorts for the Mariners, continuing to make moves, continuing to make the push. I've seen a lot of people in the betting space today really loving the Mariners over-under win total this year, which I believe is 89.5. I think that's the move that moves the needle here. I think the Gino Suarez move for the Reds, a good move there, obviously in that bandbox that we talk about all the time. Great for home run hitters, and Gino Suarez is that guy. But I think the Brendan Donovan move to Seattle is the one that really gets me like, hey, that's a big-time move there for the Mariners. And it's nice to see a team that typically 50% of the time only actually tries, and they make a move here that I think is a very good one for what they have.
I think it's a fantastic move. I think you're getting a great player in Donovan, and I think this finally signals what we've known for a long time in St. Louis, that it's time to just tear that thing down and rebuild it from the studs up.
America's team.
Yeah, I mean, the attendance there this year has been dreadful. So, but I love the fact that they got some really good pieces through Tampa and Seattle for it. So good for the Cardinals in restocking that system. But yeah, this is a great move. Donovan's been a great offensive player the last couple of years. So good to see him go to Seattle. I still think Seattle is. I know we're a little bit early on in baseball predictions, but I still think Seattle is the team to beat in the West.
I'd love to see a Seattle Cubs World Series next year, if you're asking me, if we're talking about way too early stuff right there. Hey, by the way, speaking of Cubs, we've talked about NBC and how they cover sports and everything that NBC does from a sports standpoint. It just feels like a bigger moment. If you haven't seen it, NBC obviously putting together their baseball team of analysts and announcers and stuff like that right now as they get Major League Baseball back this year. And I can't wait to see that. Sunday Night Basketball debuted last week. We've talked about the NBA on NBC. I think that's got a lot to do with why the ratings are up, them and Amazon Prime as well. NBC for analysts has signed Clayton Kershaw, Anthony Rizzo, and my dream. I've said this for years, and it's finally happening. Joey Votto is part of NBC's baseball coverage. Joey Votto is a hilarious human, and I cannot wait to see him on coverage. So shout out to NBC there. In our file of guys are great coordinators and terrible head coaches, I think a really big move was made yesterday by the New York Football Giants and new coach John Harbaugh as they bring in Matt Nagy, the former offensive coordinator of the Kansas City Chiefs, formerly the head coach of the Chicago Bears, to work with Jackson Dart, Cam Scatterbo, Malik Neighbors, and that talented offense there. A lot of people are kind of like iffy about this, and I don't understand why. And maybe it's because, the Chiefs had a down year this year. Matt Nagy is a very, very good offensive coordinator. And when you have a young, talented core of offensive pieces like the Giants do, I think the Nagy hire is a home run for John Harbaugh.
I think it is too, man. I think this is a perfect spot for Nagy because he can help get these young players to where they need to be a championship offense. So yes, I love this move. And I love the fact that Matt Nagy, it didn't go so great in Chicago. So let me be as good of an offensive coordinator as I can be, because that's still a great ticket and that's still a great way to success. So good for him. Great move. Harbaugh is so far knocking it out of the park.
Final head coaching candidates knocked out on the head coaching carousel, as we know now that Mike LaFleur is the new head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. So our second set of brother head coaches in the NFL, obviously with the Harbaughs. He didn't waste any time today hiring Nathaniel Hackett as the offensive coordinator for the Arizona Cardinals. So you make what you want out of that. And the shocking part of that, T, and I saw this, and I didn't get to read in depth with it, but I saw that he's going to be the play caller, and why LaFleur instantly is going to give up play calling to Nathaniel Hackett, who has had his career run through the mud since the Broncos thing and the following Aaron Rodgers to the Jets, and that didn't work out. Obviously, the Cardinals are 3 years away from probably being 13 years away, as we know. Very interesting there. Also interesting, your team has got a new head coach, and I love this. Clint Kubiak expected to be named officially the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders as probably as early as Monday morning after the Super Bowl is over. You can totally tell the Tom Brady stamp on this one. What do you think, man? It's your boys.
I mean, well, this is going to be a good opportunity for him as well because he's an offensive mind, and we know what they're going to do in the draft. So they just need to get an offensive line to keep him on his back or keep him off of his back. I mean, Jiminy Christmas. But you can already see how what this team's mindset is right now as they head into free agency and the number one pick in the draft. Is it looks like they're going to build around the offense right now, which I don't blame them. That's a good way to go. Just don't forget about the defense because you let a couple of good guys get away last year, and one of them's playing the Super Bowl on Sunday.
Yeah, well, that and the fact that per Jay Glazer making the media rounds today, Jay Glazer expects that Max Crosby has played his final game for the Raiders. And, you know, and obviously you're going to have a little different viewpoint of this being a Raider fan here. I can see the wanting to move Crosby because of what you can get back for a player. We're talking about arguably one of the I don't think it's arguably. I think for sure we're talking about one of the top 4 edge rushers in all of football. Obviously, Micah Parsons, Nick Bosa in that mix, amongst some other guys. But you have to rebuild this offensive line. You've got the talent on offense with Bowers and Genty, and you're going to have Fernando Mendoza in there and all that fun stuff. Max Crosby is the other thing that can acquire you several assets to start that rebuilding process. I think it's a tough move for the Raiders, but I think, and again, we're hearing it now with Jay Glazer again making the rounds today. He expects that Max Crosby has played his final game for the Silver and Black.
Well, yeah, I'm all for maximizing your return on players, especially in their prime. It's going to be, yeah, that's a good question. I would think it'd be at least a first, a second, and a couple of roster players even. But like Crosby's been really cool about wanting to be part of the solution, and you can't argue with his passion. I mean, the dude was born to be a Raider player. He just was. You can see it in just the way that he acts, the way that he plays, the interest. He's fully invested in this team. It sucks that it would come down to it, but go trade him to, I don't know, whomever can afford the price, Buffalo or go get your ring. Go get it, because you ain't getting it here.
Hey, and I mean, it's a short trip to San Francisco. I'm not talking to you directly, John Lynch, but maybe I'm talking to you directly, John Lynch. So plenty of stuff. Again, we'll get into some Super Bowl props. We're going to start kind of more in the novelty area tonight. Tomorrow, the coin is back tomorrow. Go ahead. What do you got?
I got one more baseball thing.
Uh-oh.
Because I saw that, Mac was
You're speaking Vegas Mac's love language now.
The Red Sox signed Isaiah Kiner-Falefa to a 1-year deal. So how about that?
Why are you
defending AL champion Isaiah Kiner-Falefa?
Are you trying to trigger him while he's on he might jump over the side of the boat with that thing. What are you doing here? We need him back next week, man. He's probably still pissed that the Celtics traded Anthony Simons here. What are you doing to the guy? He's on vacation. He earned this.
He's probably headed to the pool right now going, oh man, I'm just gonna
remember the pool, Mac, not the ocean, the pool.
Yes. Don't stay away from the rail, brother. Stay away
Get away. Get him away from the rail. All right, let's talk a little hockey here. Did you watch that Stadium Series game? And let me preface this by we've talked about this and the whole thing and how it's being kind of overblown. And Brody Brazil, who covers the Sharks and covers Bay Area sports, he brought up an interesting point there. And I think it's twofold. One, I think it's safe to bet that the Sharks are going to be a team that's featured in some of these Stadium Series Winter Classic games because of the core young players, and mainly Macklin Celebrini. And he pitched an idea of setting up the rink in a kind of a more iconic location. And I think that's where we need to go with this is he set it up. And if you're familiar with the Northern California Bay Area in the Presidio district, where you could have some real great viewpoints and all of that, he also floated out Oracle, AT&T, Pac Bell, insert name for this week park where the Giants play, which would obviously be a great place to have a game. Great setting there. I thought, and a lot of people critiqued and really didn't do their homework when we saw John Cooper, the Lightning, and his coaching staff come out paying homage to the Cuban community in Tampa. No, he was not dressed like Scarface, guys. There was a little more to the story there. But I think it was said perfectly, and I saw Ray Ferraro on X make a couple comments back to some people that were like, "Oh, this is stupid." But I think the thing with the Stadium Series, and more the Stadium Series than I think the Winter Classic, the Stadium Series should be a little ridiculous. It should be a little over the top. It should be pirate themed and that stuff. There was one point in the game there, referees coming over to Coop and his staff explaining stuff, and somebody got a picture of the referee, and here's Coop in his getup. It's like, how do you even take this conversation seriously if you're a referee? But what actually happened in that game was freaking ridiculously good. That was, for my money, man, and I know there's been some good ones, but that one is the one that's really going to stick out more than anything to me.
Well, I think what that did was that event has moved the outdoor games potentially off the chopping block, which I wouldn't be sad if they went away. I think they've jumped the shark. Next year, it's going to be at Rice Eccles, so Ryan Smith gets to play with his new toy outside. I'm very happy he's making changes to his other toys right now. But you're right. This is a game that needs to be sold and turned into an event. Like, could you imagine? Just think about this. What if, and I'm going to take the if out of it because it's going to be a when. When this game is played in Las Vegas, what is going to happen? It will be an absolute circus.
Just a clown show.
It will be just whatever happened in Tampa. It will be 10, 100x. That's what it would be like. And I'm okay with if you want to make it into an event. By the way, did you know? You probably knew this. I was today years old when I learned that Raymond James Stadium is colloquially known as Ray J. I was like, this is really bad Kardashian vibes for this situation here.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
But anyway, I love the get-ups by the Tampa Bay. I love them coming in the creamsicles. I thought that was outstanding. Nikita Kucherov looked like he was a fish out of water. Like, what the hell am I doing here? The game went the one direction and then just completely turned around after the fight. And good for the fans. They 64,000, fill it up, do whatever you got to do. I'm okay with that. But I'm kind of over stadium games. I like the idea of putting it somewhere iconic. I love the Lake Tahoe idea a couple of years ago. It didn't work out as they wanted it, but I'm down for those kind of things. But we got to do something, right? We got to do something.
Our breaking news sounder. We do have breaking news, not from the NBA. It's from Major League Baseball, as just across here in the last couple of minutes. So, T, I was listening to you. I was trying to confirm what popped up in front of me. The Detroit Tigers, who are now awaiting a arbitration ruling in the Tarek Skubal case. They don't want to pay Tarek Skubal, but they just paid Framber Valdez 3 years, $115 million. And this is per the Athletic's Chandler Rome right here. So literally just came across as we were talking about that. Framber Valdez to Detroit as they await the arbitration ruling on Tarek Skubal, which actually took place here in Arizona today. Let's get back into the hockey side of things here. And see, we're going to get more into this yesterday, but it's something that you've talked about a lot. We don't quite have the runway tonight to get into it like I wanted to. But this point system in the NHL is getting a little ridiculous. Actually, it's gone way past like 10 levels of ridiculous right now and going to a 3-2-1 point system here. Give me your take on it real quick. And again, we'll dive more into this because there was an incredible tweet put out this week that really kind of broke down for the casual hockey fans who are still kind of growing and as the sport gets momentum, learning how the point system works here. And we're going to get again, more into the details of that tweet and obviously give credit to where it's due here. Why do we need a 3-2-1 point system more than anything?
Because the 3-2-1 system is more indicative of your team, of how your team is performing. 3 points for a regulation win, 2 points for an overtime or shootout win, 1 point for an overtime shootout loss, and nothing for regulation loss. And the prime example that I can tell everybody is the Vegas Golden Knights. The Vegas Golden Knights are at the top of the Pacific Division with 64 points. They are, if you take away this NHL 500 bullcrap, this team is 25 wins and 30 losses, and they are at the top of the division. Meanwhile, a team like the Anaheim Ducks is 30 wins and 26 losses and sitting in third place. So you're trying to tell me that a team that has won 5 more games sits 2 places below the leading team, and the only reason is because Vegas has 14 loser points. That is absurd. Absolutely absurd.
Yeah, it is absolutely ridiculous here. And before we get into some Olympic hockey talk and some halfway predictions here, as we're about at the Olympic break, obviously the big news in the NHL today, the New York Rangers have finally moved Artemi Panarin. I don't know why I struggle with that one so damn much. I don't have to really worry about it because he's not going to the Sharks. The Rangers asked the Sharks for Will Smith and picks and another prospect today, and Mike Greer basically told him to sit on it and spin. Well, the worst part of what happens in that scenario is now he goes to the LA Kings. So yet again, the Kings don't get younger, but the Breadman heads to the opposite coast. A move I think the Rangers got a good haul for it. We heard today that Tampa was maybe in the front part of that because he preferred to go to a tax-free state, which I know gets under everybody else's skin there. Again, you can cry about it, but there's plenty of people in non-tax-free states that win games. Big move for the Kings here. The overhaul of the Rangers is now in kind of full-blown go here. I mean, we've already seen them make some moves, but when the Breadman's on the move, that's a big deal.
Well, and look, the Rangers, people are going to complain about the return on this. It's a conditional third rounder that turns into a second that may turn into 2 picks. And you got a prospect who's probably a player, at AHL player at best right now. But look, the Rangers had zero leverage. They already told Panarin they weren't going to re-sign him. So Panarin held all the cards here. He goes to LA. LA gets older in a way. They get a better skill. They get some good skill there, right? They immediately signed him to a 2-year extension. So Panarin gets what he wants. But you talking about the Breadman, he's led the Rangers in scoring every year he's been there. He's 30. He's 34. So
no, please.
No, please. You know this. He got his extension. The offense gets better. This team cannot score. They're old, they're slow, and they cannot score. So this helps the offense. The extension slides right in because Kopitar's money comes off the books next year. So it's almost a dollar for dollar match. Good move for the Kings. Low risk, high reward.
Yeah, absolutely. And, plenty of stuff. And again, with the goofiness of the break for the Winter Olympics here, and I think the NHL handled that whole situation ass backwards between the roster freeze and then coming back and when you're allowed to practice and then when you're allowed to make trades. Again, we can get into a little bit more of that tomorrow. But as we sit here, and tomorrow we've got another same game parlay Thursday as we do in the NHL on Lunchtime Live. Again, 11:30 on the West Coast, 2:30 on the East Coast tomorrow. NBA trade deadline will be right in the middle of our program tomorrow. We're going to get into player props. Our coin is back for its final football appearance tomorrow. We've got our 6-way Super Bowl parlay that we're going to drop out there for you, see if we can get one more for the road here. But we've got the Olympics coming up, man. I'm pretty jacked. Anytime you got Kenny Albert on the microphone for big time hockey is a great thing. I can't wait to get this going. I think I've actually brainwashed one of the McKenzie kids. He just wants to watch hockey with me every night because I yelled goalie fight the other night when I heard it, and the entire clan ran out and they were dialed in. Unfortunately for him, I left him out watching the Jets and the Habs tonight, and he goes, What's this anthem? And so I had to explain the anthem thing to him, but I've got him dialed in now for sure. Let's see. We've got Olympic hockey here, and obviously everybody's going to talk about the U.S. and Canada, and we're going to give you who we think's going to go home with a gold medal here. But let's look at some of the other teams here. Obviously, those are your two big heavyweights in this battle here. And I think there's a couple other teams that might be able to make a little bit of noise here. I'll let you start. Give me your dark horse in the Winter Olympics for hockey on the men's side. Who do you like and why? Unmute yourself, Vegas Mac.
Sorry, the dog was going off there, and I didn't want everybody to hear him from 2,000 miles away. It's Team Czechia. I think that they have the best goaltending with Dostal is going to be leading the way. They got Vemelka in there. They got Darth Vladar. But this team, any team that has Pasternak and Zaka and Andre Palat, and especially Martin Necas, who has been like Mikko Hu in Colorado, right? Because Martin Necas has been outstanding. Any team that has those offensive weapons, Tomas Hertl is on that team as well. This is my dark horse here. And if you can ride a hot Lucas Dostal into through the round robin part of this tournament, anything can happen.
Yeah, for me, I do agree with you there. I was kind of leaning a little bit that way. And when I got into the rosters a little bit more, because when the rosters were first announced, I mean, we're right in the middle of football season. I didn't pay much attention other than the U.S. and Canada. When I look at Sweden's group here, I'm very intrigued by their group. With Gustafsson, Markstrom in goal, and just going through the roster there, and they're not going to wow you when you compare them to Canada's roster and the U.S.'s roster. But I'm looking through this thing here, and Jesper Bratt and Eriksson Ek and Forsberg, and you go over I love the defensemen on this team. Rasmus Dahlin, OEL, our boy. I think there's good depth to Sweden here. I think anybody in this competition is pissing upstream, if you will, with Canada and the U.S. But I like the Swedes here. Who's taking home the gold for you?
I think it's the U.S. And I know it's kind of a homer pick, but I think it's their time. I think they learned a lot from the Four Nations. That was a wake-up call for that team. And I think nothing short of a gold medal will be acceptable.
Yeah, I would like to see it happen. I do agree. They've been banging on that door for a while. Obviously, we got a little taste of that in the Four Nations face-off, and maybe call me a homer here. Maybe that's what it is. But thinking of the line that gets to add Macklin Celebrini to it, please keep him in bubble wrap, because the last thing I need is something happening there. But I am so intrigued for some of the world, and mainly in the States here, for people to see Macklin Celebrini that have just kind of read about what he's doing. I think on this stage, I mean, I was even talking to my dad about it the other day, and he's still baffled by the fact that the Sharks are kind of good again, and asked me when the last time they were good was, and it opened up all kinds of old wounds there. But I think I'm really excited to see the world see him on this global stage, and I just think Canada's. I think they're living rent free right now, and I believe the U.S. is knocking on the door, but I don't know if this is quite the year that they get it done.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And look, we all, I think everybody except for, oh my God,
he's our Vegas Mac, folks. In his wife's email right now, he's our Vegas Mac.
Kirks and Caicos, all right.
Everybody straight ahead.
I think everybody's going to be disappointed if, other than Sweden, Finland, or whomever, if it's not U.S. and Canada gold medal match. I think people are going to be. I think that's what everybody's looking forward to. Like I said, we got a taste of it last year. I was completely wrong on the Four Nations. I thought it was a farce, and then that last series was absolutely incredible. And I think you're just going to see more of it. And I give me the best on best. It's the first time they played the Olympics
do agree
in
with
several years. So.
Yeah, I want to see the CM Punk versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania and everything. So give me best on best here. That absolutely. And Vegas Mac was something actually serious here. I have not watched this yet. Vegas Mac told us both about it. But the Netflix special on the Miracle on Ice team, apparently it's a heavy duty tearjerker, very well done. So while you're needing your hockey fix as we wait for the games to begin, and we have a little bit of time before that happens after the games end tomorrow, the NHL games. Something to definitely check out. All right, T, we're running a little low on time. We got to get to these props here. We got three different sets of halfway predictions here. Let's pick one of them. We'll get to the other two tomorrow. Do you want bold prediction, inside that falls out, or outside that falls in?
I'll give you an outside that falls in. I'm taking the Nashville Predators. I believe in this team. I've watched them a lot lately. I watched them this past Saturday against the Islanders, and they fell behind 2-0 quickly. But unlike what we've seen in October or even last year, this team just kept in the game. They got the next two, and then wound up pulling it off late, 4-3. They had an incredible comeback. I mean, it was against the Blues, but you were down. You're down 5-1 in this league to anybody, and come back to win. That's a major accomplishment. This team believes in themselves. Stamkos on a heater right now. I'm taking the Preds.
I know most people are expecting me to say the Sharks here, but that's not where I'm going to go with this one. I actually think it's the LA Kings. This team, as old as they get, as much as we don't think they can do anything, as much as it looks like they're dead, time to move on, time to move stuff, I'm really buying into the Anze Kopitar swan song year here, and they're not really that far outside as we look at it now. They're 1 point behind Seattle for that second wild card in the Western Conference. Adding Panarin here, like, dude, why can't I say his friggin' name right? Obviously a huge move, and I don't think they're done either. And being right there, we've obviously seen them deal with some injury issues, which a lot of old teams do here.
Yep.
And this team just finds this miracle way to get in and then get their asses handed to them by the Oilers, which is probably the scenario again this year.
Yeah, but from a selfish standpoint, I hope you're right, because I would love to watch another one of those games. It was incredible.
You just want to see the harmonicas at a Kings game. That's what you really want out of it. Come on, tell the people the truth here. We're all about the truth.
Hey, if you watched that and you did not tear up a little bit, I mean, and they had to keep rolling them out. You keep winning, you got to keep rolling them out.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Finishing the show tonight in the prop market, in the novelty prop market. Again, we're going to go to player props tomorrow, our 6-pack. We're going to do sides, totals, touchdown scores for each team, favorite prop from each team, and of course, the well-trained method. And you're going to laugh about this if you're watching for the first time. The coin has a winning record so far in the football postseason for both college and professional football here. But Mac and I got to make our early thoughts on MVP picks. You had to kind of bounce out the other day. I went with Ramondre Stevenson. Everybody, I got a couple laugh my ass off comments today, and then no follow-up. Like, hey, I didn't say that I thought the Patriots were going to win. I'm going to make my official Super Bowl pick on Friday's show. You will make yours on the final edition of TJ After Dark, which has been dominating all year, on Sunday.
Watch the whole video.
Yeah, watch the whole video, you clowns. But give me a guy that you're liking for Super Bowl MVP.
I like your boy, Nick Emmanwori. I think the defense for the Seahawks has a chance to make a huge statement. This will definitely, I mean, you said Drake May was great against crappy teams and incredibly average against good teams. And he was good against the Broncos, but I think the Broncos kind of shot themselves in the foot there. So now he's going up against a premier defense again. I think the defense has an opportunity to make a statement here. And if a couple things go the right way, man, this could be a long day for Drake May. So I was kind of like Jones or Nicky E. And I was like, you know what? This would be a great story. Potential defensive rookie of the year. And how about a Super Bowl MVP to cap it off?
Yeah, and we'll find out actually tomorrow night, the NFL honors, which we're going to announce a Hall of Fame class. And thanks to the Pro Football Hall of Fame and their idiocy, we're going to talk more about who's getting screwed than who's actually getting in. But we'll find out the league MVP, whether it's Drake May or Matthew Stafford. We'll find out all the award winners tomorrow night from San Francisco. It is not hard to say, people. It's so amazing to see some of the national media members that are in the Bay Area right now, and they're at the parks and around the city, and realizing that the best sandwich you're going to find anywhere in America is in San Francisco, realizing that it's not what you're told it is. There's some really great parts of the city, and just like any other city, there's some really shitty ones here. It is San Francisco. You can say San Francisco, you can say SF, you can say the city. If you're so damn lazy to call it San Fran while you're getting paid to be there, yes, it is San Francisco. It really doesn't take that much longer. It drives me up a freaking wall, man. And then the people the other day, and I get it. The NFL set up the NFL's media center in San Francisco. Radio Row is at the Moscone Center. The Palace of Fine Arts, I believe, is hosting the NFL Honors tomorrow. And the other night, the people that didn't do their homework and understand the difference between Santa Clara, San Jose, and San Francisco, it's going to take me an hour and a half to get to media night. Well, first of all, dumbasses, take the 280, not the 101. Second of all, do some homework before you get to a city. Not that friggin' hard. Let's get into some of these props here. And T, there's props all over the place. You can bet on Bad Bunny's set lists. That would require you to actually know a song that Bad Bunny sings. Sorry, if it's your jam, fine. Not our jam, or not my jam. I'm pretty sure it's not yours. You can bet on the Gatorade color, which I think is a sneaky good bet here. Blue, you can get at 2-1 odds. And you go, well, how do you know that? Well, typically, and I'll give Anita Marks from ESPN credit for this, the teams typically will use the Gatorade color that doesn't stain their jerseys here. We got two teams that have blue predominantly in their jerseys. The Patriots will be in their all whites, but blue is a good one there. But there's a lot of stupid ones. And to me, the dumbest one, T, and this really shows you who is a complete novice gambler, just an average Joe gambler, just doing it for fun. Betting on a coin toss when one of the sides has minus 120 odds. If you're not smart enough to figure out that a coin toss is a 50-50 flip, maybe this is your sign not to be betting here. So there's plenty of the goofy ones. We can go down, but then there's some fun ones. Yeah. Will there be an octopus in this game? We've only seen one. I believe we've only seen one ever. It was a couple of years ago with Jalen Hurts against the Chiefs. We've got some interesting ones here. I know both of us have a couple. Why don't you start us off in our novelty props for the Super Bowl, T? Give me one that you're betting. Give me one that you love.
I love the total players to have a pass attempt at over 2.5 because, and I've liked this ever since that silly Philly special thing, but it's a plus 160 the last time I checked, and it kind of goes along with the,
Yep. Yeah, he's 100% right.
Dude, you're right. It's not that hard, but
Frisco's in Texas, you fools.
But it also kind of goes along with another one I saw where will there be a flea flicker attempted? Like sometimes those kind of go hand in hand. And if you run that little halfback option or throwback, there you go. It doesn't say it has to be completed either. It's just an attempt.
Yep, exactly. That kind of goes along with one of my favorite ones here, and your boy, your new head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, Clint Kubiak. I think I said it against the Rams. I thought he was going to be in his bag. He didn't really have to be in his bag because somehow the Rams didn't get the memo that Jackson Smith and Jigba is pretty damn good. I think Clint Kubiak's going to be in his bag in this one because he's going up against a defensive-minded head coach in Mike Vrabel here. One of my favorite ones that I bet right away, and I actually boosted this from a plus 290 to a plus 378. Jackson Smith and Jigba over a half-yard rushing. I think the Patriots are going to make it a point, obviously, to try and do what the Rams failed to do and make it difficult on him. I think he's going to get his no matter what. I don't know if I love his yard prop, and the last time I saw it, it was around 95.5 yards.
Yeah.
But Jackson Smith and Jigba on a little kind of jet sweep. I think Clint Kubiak is going to try and do some things in this game to kind of get his guy loose and then make New England think about where he's at and moving his position, going to Cooper Kupp a bunch and going to A.J. Barner a bunch and shifting the focus, and then boom, here's JSN on the other side. So I love that one. Give me another one of yours.
Will there be a successful 2-point attempt?
I love that one.
With all of I mean, you've seen it in the league how everybody wants to go for it on 4th down now in less than 4. Well, if you get the 6 and you want to really throw a wrench into a team, go for 2. And you've seen the plays. You've seen a lot of successful plays out of it. So yeah, I think that has a great chance of happening. And then from the other side, the last time Seattle won the Super Bowl, there was a successful one because Denver scored and got the 2 to try to make it instead of 40-7, 40-8. So, there's always that option as well.
Yeah, I won't tell you where this one is because, again, they don't pay our bills, so no free advertising for you. But there is one actually out there. Will the Seahawks attempt a pass from the 1 yard line, which I thought was humorous in its own right? Kind of maybe, but you're being an incredible point guard tonight because you were just talking about, your successful 2-point attempt, and you talked about the going for it on 4th down and all that stuff. Another one that I like a lot is, and you can get this, I don't know if it's still there because we talk about it all the time. You got to grab stuff early because when the heavy money comes in, starts moving the number, and then you want to bet it because it sounds fun to bet, but you have to stop yourself at that point and go, I wanted to bet it when it was here. This really doesn't make a lot of sense. This one, I don't know if it's still there, but at plus 300, will there be an offensive touchdown scored on 4th down in this game? I think with both of these coaches and how I think this game is going to go, again, T will make his pick officially on Sunday. We'll have some fun tomorrow with our combo pick. I'll make mine on Friday's show. I like that. I bet yes on an offensive touchdown to be scored on 4th down at a plus 300. I think that's a very good possibility.
I do too, because once again, you've seen all these teams going for it on 4th and 3, 4th and 2, instead of taking the sure points. I mean, we saw it cost the Broncos, but a lot of teams have been benefiting from it.
Let's see. I think you have one more left, and I have one more left here. Go ahead.
I do, and this is kind of a long shot here. Sam Darnold, 10+ rushing yards. The dude has not run for more than 9 in several weeks. So he got loose for 9 against the Rams.
Little naked boot action. I could get down with that.
Yeah, or one of those plays where you're trying to close out the game and nobody's expecting it, and like you said, a little naked bootleg to the side, get a little yardage. But that was just a little bit interesting, and I liked it because of the value. It was plus 161. So throw 10 on it. He comes through, it's 26. If he doesn't come through, you lost 10. You probably won on something else.
Yeah, and in that same light, and I haven't done it yet because I don't really like where the number's at. I'm trying to watch where it goes here, but we've talked about this a couple of times in regards to the quarterbacks. And when you have a low number like, you're playing there, and I do agree with your reasoning there. The other thing you have to factor in when you're betting quarterback rushing totals, and we saw this a couple years ago, I believe it was the first time the Niners and Chiefs played in the Super Bowl. And a lot of people were on Patrick Mahomes' rushing yard prop, and he was well over it, but by the clock math back in their favor, and he ended up dropping below. So I get a little hesitant on certain quarterbacks rushing props, but their rushing attempts, and this is a thing I don't think a lot of people remember here, kneel downs count as rushing attempts. So if you really believe that the Seahawks are going to blow the doors off the Patriots like some people do, maybe Sam Darnold's rushing attempts is where you want to look, because 3 kneel downs gives you 3, a couple. I don't know what the number's at right now. I haven't gone that far into it, but you made me think of that there. My final one, T, I'm surprised that I'm the one dropping this out here, not you, but the longest, and I'll give credit absolutely where it's due here. This comes from our guy, Bill Krackenberger, but I am 1,000% on board with him and the thought process here. First made field goal of the game, over 37.5 yards. You've got 2 teams here that are not afraid to kick a field goal, 2 coaches that trust their defenses. I think, especially early on in the game, we're going to see a lot of strategery, as we like to say it on the program, going on here. So I like the first field goal attempt. When I got it, it was at minus 115. Don't know if it's still there, but the first field goal attempt, over 37.5 yards. T, I don't know if you've been informed of this. This season premiere, by the way, of Mike versus Mac coming up just after this program at the top of the hour. My attempt to try and run down Mac on the golf course here. He's beaten me the last 2 years. Last year was a little bit closer. We get that started at the Drunken Management Phoenix Open tomorrow, where, hey, I'm going to throw this out here because I'm a good dude. Scotty Scheffler is still on some sites 10-1 to be the first round leader tomorrow. Don't tell me I didn't tell you. He's also like plus 290 to be in the first round top 5. but the season premiere of Mike versus Mac. And we're having Mac do something very specific for us on the trip. And Vegas Mac, because only Vegas Mac can do this, has created another alter ego, alter persona. We've heard Summer Rob. We've heard all this other shit from him. Yeah.
Oh,
you know what?
Good Lord.
He's Vegas Mac, but
good Lord,
damn it, he's our Vegas Mac. So plenty of stuff to come up. Again, the season premiere of Mike versus Mac coming up at the top of the hour on all of our social channels at Mike Arana Show. Again, tomorrow we'll get into some more headlines. We're going to dive as head first as we can into the NBA trade deadline. TJ's got a little tighter window tomorrow, so I will follow through with you if we need to. We're going to bring back the coin for our Super Bowl 6-pack. Get a little bit more into the 3-2-1 conversation. It's another one we're going to get more into next Wednesday, where we'll be kind of in the middle of Olympic hockey. Any final words from you on this hump day, TJ?
I'm telling you, like that, I'm still hung up on the Isaiah Kiner-Falefa signing. I think this is a great move for the Red Sox. I think
you're going to ruin his trip, man.
This could be the difference. I mean, once again, pennant winner last year. So, Mac, I think
are you willing? Are you willing to put another jersey bet where your mouth is? Because I just thought of one.
Does it have to be an IKF one, or can it, or is it going to be somebody else?
No, I think if the Red Sox win the World Series, we need to buy you an IKF Red Sox jersey.
Okay, but only if it's that obnoxious.
They have to win the World Series. We gotta set the bar high. You already have to do Caleb Williams. We have to set the bar higher for you now.
But it has to be that obnoxious blue and yellow one.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're going to make you wear the orange Caleb Williams jersey. Like, any of the jersey bets we make on this show, we got to go to the peak of obnoxiousness. Like, if we do a Seahawk one and I have to wear a Seahawk jersey, sorry. It's got to be the highlighter yellow one.
Yeah, 100%.
A, because the wifey hates those jerseys, and B, because it's loud and obnoxious, kind of like me. That's why I'm going down that road. So TJ will be with me tomorrow, lunchtime live, 11:30 on the West Coast, 2:30 on the East Coast. You got your novelties. We're going to give you some player props, and then we'll finish it all up with my Super Bowl pick. Plenty of other stuff on our social channels at Mike Arana Show. For Bahama Bob somewhere in the Atlantic, for TJ, for everybody in the chat window today, you guys rock. Let's keep it going. We appreciate y'all. We'll talk to you tomorrow, lunchtime live. You know the drill.